Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Briefing.
In the first two polls publicized following the dismantling of the Zionist Union, it was found that both of the involved parties, the HATNUA and Labour parties, were greatly damaged by the move. The two polls published by Kan and Channel 2 found that if elections were held today, Avi Gabai's Labour Party would only win 7 and 8 seats respectively, down from 9 seats in previous polls. And Livni's HATNUA party on its own would receive just 5 seats according to Channel 2, and none according to Kan, as it did not pass the 3.25% electoral threshold in their numbers. Both polls showed that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party continues to maintain a significant lead, however, with 31 seats according to Channel 2 and 28 according to Kan. Then, similar to previous polls, coming in far behind, the next largest faction was former IDF Chief of Staff Benny Gantz's new party, Israel Resilience, which according to Channel 2 would receive 12 seats, down from 14 last week. Though according to Kan, he still holds on to the 14 mandates. With this in mind, both Gabai and Livni have reportedly sought an alliance with Gantz, though Livni did swipe at Gantz's failure to make his policies known. Meanwhile, parties across the aisle are also reportedly seeking alliances ahead of elections. Kan reported on Wednesday that the Prime Minister's Likud party may look to form a political union with Finance Minister Moshe Kahlon's Kulanu party, adding an estimated 6 seats to the Likud's roughly 30. Kulanu has denied these reports as rumors, though. Religious parties, United Torah Judaism and Shas, on the other hand, who are expected to receive 7 and 5 seats respectively, have confirmed that they are considering a partnership. Other remaining parties, most of which are also looking around for any partnerships they might find, include Yair Lapid's Yesh Atid party that slid in the polls down to around 13 or fewer seats, the New Right party started by Naftali Bennett and Ayelet Shaked, which is down to 9 or fewer seats, and the former Defense Minister Ya'alon's New Telem party, which at the moment is expected to fail to meet the minimum required threshold completely. In a startling statement, speaking at a cabinet meeting at the White House with senior state officials and reporters, United States President Donald Trump said on Wednesday that Iran is pulling people out of Syria, but they can frankly do whatever they want there. Discussing the planned U.S. troop withdrawal from the country and its ramifications in the region, the United States President then explained that Syria had been, quote, lost long ago, and, quote, due to the failed policies of his predecessor, President Barack Obama. Though he added, quote, we're not talking about vast wealth, we're talking about sand and death, end quote. Then, despite first announcing 30 days and then 4 months, Trump would not give a concrete answer when questioned about the timetable for the withdrawal of some 2,000 troops stationed in the country. Later, Trump went on to say that he doesn't want to be in Syria forever, but nevertheless wants to protect the Kurds, America's greatest allies in its fight against ISIS. The United States President's comments came just a day after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, when he reassured him that the United States would continue to cooperate and coordinate with Israel regarding the troop withdrawal and other regional issues, mainly Iran. Speaking of the United States Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, has finally left her post this week after first announcing her intent to resign in early October 2018. President Trump reportedly looks to replace Haley with Heather Nauert, a State Department spokesperson and former Fox News journalist. But while Haley is stepping down from the international position, it's unlikely she'll be gone from politics and diplomacy forever. She's stated in the past that she'll remain a voice for the Republican Party and that she'll voice her opinions from time to time. Then on Twitter, she ended her term stating, quote, I feel so blessed to have had the opportunity to rep the country I love so much, and thank you, Mr. President, for the honor of a lifetime, end quote. She followed that with congratulating Brazilian President Bolsonaro on his inauguration, and then taking a jab at UNESCO, which she describes as a cesspool and, quote, among the most corrupt and politically biased UN agencies. As for her first acts as a civilian, however, they were a bit less political. First was a reboot of her Twitter handle, having to earn back many of her 1.7 million followers, and then apparently downloading Uber. Finally, amidst their biannual migration, Starlings from Russia and Eastern Europe are again gracing the Israeli skies with gorgeous movements and shapes. According to Reuters, Tel Aviv University ornithologist Yossi Leshem explains that the large morphing groups of birds, or murmurations, are to both find safety in numbers and also to confuse potential predators. Well, thankfully, Israel, being placed specially between Europe and Africa and Asia, is a perfect place for birdwatchers to see these murmurations, as thousands of species migrate across the Israeli skies each year. Meanwhile, speaking of natural magic, a rare pod of dolphins called false killer whales were spotted Wednesday off the coast of Eilat heading south towards Egypt. The pod had at least 10 individuals, but the highly sociable species has been noted to group together into pods as large as 500, and even including other species of dolphin. Sociability aside, however, the false killer whales gained their name not for how they look, but how they're known to attack other dolphins, like real killer whales or orcas are known to do. Their looks are much more akin to what you would expect a dolphin to look like, though, with a dark gray coloring, average body length of nearly 5 meters or 16 feet, and a tapered head with 44 conical teeth. Many other species of dolphins are also known to frequent Israeli coasts.
That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.